All right, many home insurance policies don't cover earthquakes, protecting your credit and debit card information, and who has been voted the best fast food chain. We're talking about all of it with Steve Budin in today's Financial Focus. Thank you so much for being here. First, let's talk about the insurance. Right now, we just had a major earthquake, and a lot of people don't realize that it's not covered in home insurance.
Yeah, I was actually down in Southern California this weekend, so I was experiencing it down in Anaheim, and of course, sitting there waiting for it to end. I had some time on my hands, and I took out my homeowner's insurance policy, and sure enough, there's an exclusion in there for earthquakes. So I spoke to some insurance experts this morning who actually did say you can get earthquake insurance. It's a separate policy, but I hate the viewers to think just because you have homeowner's insurance that you're covered for earthquakes. Now, depending on your house, it does depend on a lot of circumstances. Talk to your insurance broker, but you're looking at a couple $100 a year generally for an earthquake insurance addendum to your policy.
Yeah, so if there is an earthquake, let's say you just get a little tiny crack in the wall, or maybe your foundation moves a little bit, not covered.
Right.
So you have to go check your coverage and make sure you add that little additional coverage, right?
Yep.
All right. So this is actually interesting because this has been happening for both of us.
Yes.
We're going to talk about how to protect your credit and debit card information. I was just a victim of credit card fraud. You were just a victim of debit card fraud.
Just yesterday.
This just happened to both of us. So let's talk about how you can protect yourself.
So I was down again in Southern California, and I think I know where it happened, and I was getting gas, and I know I've reported on this before, but they put those skimmers in there. And I should have walked in and paid cash, but I didn't. And I woke up this morning and I had a fraud alert on my phone, and I logged onto my bank account, and sure enough, there was about 9 charges. United States Postal Service, for all things, as a matter of fact. But immediately called my fraud alert hotline, and they gave me the number. So a couple of things you'd want to do here. Obviously, check your accounts, if not daily, every other day. And the quicker you can report it, the better your chances of getting reimbursed. And a lot of credit cards nowadays and debit cards actually offer you text messaging, email confirmation, and other things. Take advantage of it all. And it can be a little bit of a pain, but it'll save yourself in the long run. If, every time your credit card is used, sometimes you'll get a text message, is this a legitimate purchase? And you can text back yes. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in, but it'll save you in the long run.
I was just telling Steve that that's actually what I did with my credit card and how I found out that I was a victim of fraud, because I get those text notifications to verify any charge on my card. And so I started getting these, did you pay for this? Did you pay for this? And I'm like, no, no on all of those. So.
Yeah, it's just an important thing to protect yourself because, again, it's not as tough as it was 15 or 10 years ago. The banks know this goes on. And if you have a good relationship with your bank credit card issuer, a lot of times they'll give you the benefit of the doubt and give you a credit back, but you still have to sign forms and go through the paperwork to prove that you aren't the one who did those charges. Right.
All right, we have just a few more seconds. Let's talk about who was voted the best fast food chain. Pretty
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
I think we all knew that one. But
what's interesting about this survey, though, is you also had Panera and Papa John's and Pizza Hut, Arby's, interestingly enough.
I think I'm the only one that likes Arby's. If anybody else out there likes Arby's, tweet me.
They finished top of the survey, so there's more people, unless you're stacking the results. But interestingly enough, number 2 was really none of the above. And I think it's a factor in our society that more and more people are using fast casual versus some of these fast food places. But another thing that came to mind was the survey satisfaction generally was down. And I think it's a challenge nowadays for a lot of these companies to provide the service with a tight labor market. I go into some of these places every now and then and I'll do takeout. The orders are never right, and it becomes a problem, right? So the satisfaction and the reliability is really bad. But interestingly enough, Chick-fil-A, 4th year in a row, came out number 1.
Steve, thank you so much for joining us. That was your Financial Focus. We'll be right back after the break.